so happy, my hair so nappy, had an afro.
I did a video, and what the video was saying was Arsenal was missing all these chances, but Martin Odegaard is leading the league in creativity. He is the Premier League's most creative player. And you can see here, this was before Christmas, by the way. #1 in the Premier League, passes leading to a shot with 72. By the way, the person who's second on this list, which was James Maddison, had 46. Nearly, what is that? 46, 20, 20 26. 26 lower than Martin Odegaard. That's how far ahead he is. The second person next to him is not even close. And let's take, there's always context, so we have to talk about context. We know Kevin De Bruyne missed the first 4 months, but it doesn't matter because Odegaard over last season created more chances than Kevin De Bruyne through the whole season anyway. So it doesn't make a difference whether he was there or not. Odegaard still outmatched him last season, but what he's done this year, he's become the de facto creative #1 player in the Premier League. And I have to reinforce that because we don't talk about it enough. This guy is elite. He's #1 in secondary assists. I know some of you hate that, but I don't care. Secondary assists is that ball that comes in from the midfield to an open player who then slots the ball in for an assist. He is #1 in the league for that. So it's not what he's doing on the front end. It's what he's doing on the back end. He's third in shot sequences, and he's third in attempts that ends in a shot. And the difference between now, let me get rid of this. The difference between now and then is that all the chances he was creating weren't going in. Now we're seeing the benefit of his play because goals are coming in from everywhere. And it's all coming from him. So, Tony, last week, he created 8 chances against West Ham, which was the highest in the Premier League, not just this season, but for any game last season in 2022-23. And so I had him down at 7 today. I don't know what it officially says on your side. I'll have to go to Opta and check it. But I've got him down for 7. If that's the case, it means he would have created, hear this, guys, 15 scoring chances in the last 2 weeks. Now, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. No matter what you want to say on the world level.
Not 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks, in the last week.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. In the last 2 games, but it's only 1 week.
Yeah. On the world level, guys, this guy is as good as any creative player in world football. I'm going to say that again.
You know one thing, Apollo? That chances that we just saw on that stat you put up, if you think to yourself, how many times has this guy played the ball to Jesus, who hasn't taken a shot and has cut back in and refused to shoot? That would have been even higher. And I'm not getting at Jesus, but I'm just saying them stats would have been even higher.
And Gary, you were one of the few people that actually looked at that and contextualized it, yeah? Because not a lot of people did. All they were moaning about was we're not scoring. But why aren't we scoring?
But we was creating bundles of chances.
Yeah.
But when the player refuses to shoot, and do you remember the game, Tony, where I got up off my chair and I walked away because I'm just seeing this overplay all the time, and it was getting too much and it was getting stupid. You got a chance to shoot, left foot, right foot, I don't care. Have a shot.
So, guys, I think I'm gonna give Tony a little bit of time, but I'm gonna go ahead because I'm not gonna change my score, so that's why I'm gonna go ahead. Lewis, are you okay? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, right. So, guys, we are going with Raya gets a 7.5 out of 10. Look, the fluency in him starting attacks is becoming more and more apparent now with him between the sticks. He's still Arteta's #1, but the responsibilities for me with him staying focused, coming out early, collecting crosses, he's making it extremely difficult for teams to get anything on him. He's another weapon back there his distribution as well is just elite. And it's knowing when to throw it quickly, knowing when to keep hold of the ball and baiting attackers to come at him. Burnley didn't press or anti-press today, so he didn't have to worry about too much. But I'm talking about when he's playing the top teams. He is really, really coming into his own. And last week, when I talked about him, I said, the only thing I have to see him do now is shot stopping. Imagine that. You're begging to see your goalkeeper save some shots because we're stifling teams so much that the guy's not even making saves. It's extraordinary. I don't think I've ever been in this situation talking about Arsenal before.
I don't listen. Not just Apollo, not just Arsenal. I don't think I've ever seen a game, 3 games in a row, where a keeper hasn't had to make a single save.
It's extraordinary.
He made one. He made
3
one.
shots on target in the last 3 games. Are we actually?
I don't even think that was going in. That wasn't on target. That was a cross, weren't it?
He still made an attempt at a save because he.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's give it to him. Let's give it to him.
So he gets a 7.5 when he does have to make, and when he does have to make some tough saves, then he'll be able to jump himself into the upper echelon scores as much as the other players. Burton White, I thought he did well today. He got wrestled to the ground. They know his game now. We've known it for quite a while. We talk about it on here. We love talking tactics, and we always talk about how much he's creating a shield, or in basketball we call it a screen. Where he's just blocking the goalkeeper, allowing our big boys to go in there, Saliba and Gabriel, to head all them set pieces in. And look, Burnley were ready for him today. They were ready for him. They knew it was going on. What does that tell us? That tells us that other teams are now looking at the footage. They're seeing what's going on, and they're going to be on the attack. So look for this to be on the menu in the upcoming games. But I think for me, I still have a problem with him in his game. I think he sits too far off. He's still doing that. But what he's doing now is improving it. His advanced positioning is beginning to be more helpful to Saka's game. Saka's game has improved because he's coming more up into the play and creating an option. And what does that do? That creates another defender to man mark Ben White, which makes it easier. Again, all of this is done by design, but him being more advanced is making it easy on the front players. So I think he's doing well at the moment. Not my first choice for right back. I would still put Tomiyasu there or Timber, and then when Timber comes back fit, put Timber at left back. But at the moment, I think he's an adequate player. But he's getting back to his best. He's near the top of his game now, and that's really good to see. Saliba, I'm going to give Saliba a 7. He had a mistake in the first half, which was really extraordinary for him. But look, they don't have much to do, these guys, at the moment. And it's a rarity that we're saying how quiet these guys are. So, look, I'm going to give him a solid 7. Gabriel, on the other hand, just a model of stability. Right now, it's fair to say this season he's probably been the better centre-back. And that's saying something. When you're talking about a guy, Saliba, who's been regarded as probably the best centre-back in the league, and the same probably because a lot of people are still talking about Diaz, Man City. Van Dijk's had an outstanding season at Liverpool. So Saliba's in the discussion. But if I take all of those guys, Diaz, Man City, Van Dijk, Saliba, I'm putting Gabriel above all of them. I think he's just been absolutely phenomenal. The best centre-back in the Premier League this season for me. He makes all 11. He does. I would put him all 11 starting centre-back if I was to make that decision today. He's just been phenomenal. But the best centre-back today, the best defender today was Kivior. Kivior was the only one who gets an 8. What is going on with this guy? Covering for Zinchenko. We know it's not easy because Zinchenko gives you so much.
What's going on with your scoring, mate? We won 5-0 and we've only just got the first 8.
Yeah, because it's the defenders, mate. The defenders didn't do much today. But guys.
Guess why?
Kivior's defensive awareness is unbelievable. He sees everything before it happens. His vision, his alertness, he's just smart. He's super smart. And I honestly, I don't even know how you can put Zinchenko back in the team after the last 3 displays we've seen of him. If
I
you've
wouldn't.
got 3 clean sheets, and by the way, remember, a lot of the goals have come. Zinchenko's let in 4 goals this season, and Ben White was at fault for 4 goals. If you take out that into the equation and put in Kivior, you nullify that. You nullify that weakness. And I just think it's phenomenal. I mean, remember the part where Saliba made a mistake and then Kivior showed the awareness to cover and bail out Saliba against Fofana in the first half. I just think that is brilliant what he's doing. We're not only talking about a guy who's holding his own, but he's covering for other people's mistakes as well. Just a phenomenal display. I don't think I've given him less than a 7.5.
And also playing out of position. He's not a left back. He's a left centre back.
Yeah, exactly. Just phenomenal. Now we get to the midfield. I think I've given this guy 8 out of 10 more than any other player this season, and that's Declan Rice. He's just a stellar standard for midfielders for me. I think he's been the best midfielder in the Premier League, and we're not even talking about Thomas Partey yet. Thomas Partey hasn't even been playing. Arguably, his contribution to the offensive side still needs work, but when you've got someone like Martin Odegaard next to you and Kai Havertz, who's an advanced player, it makes your job so easy in the midfield. But his last ditch challenge to stop Fofana late in the first half after the Saliba mistake, again, just shows that Declan Rice is completely unadulteratedly alert at all times in the game, and such a standard that he's set for himself. Very hard for me to think about the midfielders that came before him, quite frankly. Odegaard now, guys. Odegaard. I'm actually not going to say too much about him because I already said it before we started this player ratings. For me, I think he's the best number 10 in world football. His creativity, his touch, his vision, his flair. And then on the defensive side, which nobody likes talking about when they talk about these type of players, but I do. I love talking about Havertz defensively. I love talking about our strikers defensively, like Jesus and Nketiah, because of it impacts everything that we do. And Odegaard, guys, he's the trendsetter. He's the guy that forces everybody to play to his standards when it comes to pressing, getting in defenders' faces, suffocating the other team, the opposition, not giving them any time on the ball. It's relentless. It happens for 99 minutes every single week. And guys, this guy, and I said it before, I remember a couple of years ago when some of you guys sitting here said, we didn't see it on his loan season. I saw it. I never missed it. From day one when he came into here, it transformed our team offensively, the chances created, defensively, him setting the tone. He is, for me, the model player and the best number 10 in world football for me. And last season, remember, he outdid Kevin De Bruyne in chances created, in play set up, in pre-assist. He outdid him there as well. The only thing he didn't do was the statistic numbers, and that's because, quite frankly, we don't have Haaland up front, and that's the only reason why. But you're starting to see the assist numbers creep up this week. He had 2 last week. He had another assist today, and so it's starting to get that contribution from his efforts now. And he's just the ultimate playmaker. And he scores goals too. The goal that he took today, the first touch was Bergkamp-esque. The ball had a lot of volume on it. One touch and he just takes the power out of the ball, sets it up, and then drives it low corner. That bottom right low corner is his thing. That's his trademark finish. And then he was on point today. Brilliant. It's one of the best performances I've seen from an Arsenal player, and I've given him a perfect 10 today. Absolutely unbeatable in this form. How can teams beat us when we've got the likes of him putting performances like this? And then you've got the Rice and Havertz. Someone today said, what do you do when Thomas Partey comes back? Gary answered it. Gary said on the bench. I'm Thomas Partey's biggest fan, so I'm not going to answer that.
I think we all love Thomas Partey.
Yeah, but I'm going to leave that to the manager because that's one thing that I can't answer. But moving on to Kai Havertz, is there any fault in this guy's game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
today
The,
his control was shocking.
I tell you, the
And
interchange.
that's nitpicking. That's nitpicking.
Yeah,
Mm,
the interchange play with him, the pressing, the recoveries, the tacklings. He's an annoyance to the midfield, but the clever passing between him, Havertz, and Trossard and Odegaard just makes this midfield unplayable. It really does. He won the penalty as well. The ball he's played through for Trossard wins that penalty. He influences the game in so many different ways. And then defensively as well. I mean, he's getting an 8 when really I probably should be giving him a. You know what? Let me give Havertz a 9. Sorry, guys.
No, I have to disagree with you on that one.
Yeah, you can disagree with me, man, but I'm giving him a 9. Yeah. Just absolutely, just the brilliant performance by him today. And then the nutmeg for the goal. And then just dinking it to the goalkeeper's left as well. Great finish. But it's the runs he makes, guys. Remember the first goal that Saka scored last week? Who set that up? It was the run that Havertz made beyond the line. Remember, Havertz was the second best player for movement in the Premier League last season. The second best player. He ran the most kilometers out of any player in last season in the Premier League. So he isn't lazy. It's the movement. It's the constant hunger and energy that he provides. Just absolutely brilliant. He gets a 9. Saka gets a 9.5. I mean, Saka last week came of age. He turned up. This week, he's followed it with another world-class performance. 2 great goals. Just summing up his brilliance, his control at both feet, left foot, right foot. Saka's, he's already, look, we're not even talking about his assists. He's got 13 assists already this season. We're talking about his goals, and the guy's already got 13. So he's got 14 goals and 13 assists this season. I mean, what? That's bonkers, guys. That is absolute bonkers. He's 22 years old. He's the face of the franchise. He's got all that pressure, but yet he still keeps on coming with just pure and unadulterated quality. And can you imagine? He's been quiet all season long, and now he's come alive. Could you imagine if he's like this for the rest of the season? We're on a gravy train, guys, and I ain't getting off this shit. I'm enjoying this so much. Martinelli, I'm going to give a 7. Look, I don't think he had a bad game. I think the level of the players around him have just stepped up so much that he has to be counted on for his consistency in play. And I'm rewarding him for that pass he played for the Odegaard goal. If you look at it, he seams the ball through 3 players. That's Martinelli we're talking about. We're talking about the guy who can't pass. He seams the ball, threads the needle. And just, I had to look at that twice when Gary said the pass was from Odegaard. I was like, no, he can't do that. That weren't Odegaard. That has to be Trossard. Looked at it again. It was Martinelli. And he's done so well there. And I'm hoping that they're working on his creative side in training, because he really is missing that. That really hurts a team like this that's clicking on all levels. And we really do need him to step up. But by no means was he's the weakest link today. I thought defensively he was helping apply that pressure and the suffocation that Burnley was suffering with. So he gets a solid 7. Trossard's going to get an 8.5. Since he's been brought in as a false 9, honestly, I don't know how Jesus gets back into this team. He's hurting you so many. Every week you think he's going to get a hat-trick in terms of goals or assists. He's hurting you so many different ways. The scoring touches inside the box. Haven't you noticed? He's not hitting them at the goalkeeper. They're going top left, top right, curling in. All these different finishes applies to. Go back and watch the game at Anfield when he scored a hat-trick last season. And we'll look at the finishes there. He just seems to know how to finish in the box, and he's tidy, he's neat. I mean, guys, he's just doing everything, winning the penalty, running into the box. Such clever movement, high intelligence. And we use the word intelligence with players like Rice, don't we? We use it with Odegaard. We use the word intelligence with Zinchenko. That's who we are, guys. That's our identity. It's smart, clever creativity, and it's creating so many goals. It's ridiculous. And I'm just going to give up.
I still can't believe we only paid 27 million for Trossard.
It's bonkers, mate. It's bonkers. It's
That's
bonkers.
got to be signing of the
It's
season, man.
bonkers. And Arteta gets a 10 out of 10 for the second week running. Look, I can't say enough about him. And I'm glad because, you know, I've had to defend some of the things that he's done previously before. And some of the things he's done previously were indefensible. And I had to criticize him for it. But for me, it all starts from him. He's switched on. He's on it. As I mentioned in the 60th minute, actually, it wasn't me. Somebody mentioned it in the chat that he was screaming at one of the players that to go forward and press. And he's still on it. You're 3-0 up and you're still screaming at your lungs for the team to get it right. Just relentless. Wow, that was a long player ratings. I'm going to go to Lewis next. Lewis, you got the conch.
I agree with you on Rare. 7.5. Played a hand in one of the goal. Well, he threw it out that led to the throw in for Kivior to play Havertz in. So, and he did everything that you asked of him today. It was a very, very accomplished performance, you know. And when he was called upon, he was ready. So I agree with that. Why? I don't know. Sometimes I find with Ben White that it's not. It's almost like he's not there, like fully aware of what's going on sometimes. But him and Saka now found that relationship, that partnership that they had from last year, where you know they're interchanging passing, he's overlapping, they're working harder together on the defensive end. I sort of seeing them doubling up on the winger, which is really good. Saliba, the 7 is fair. A very, very uncharacteristic like mistake from him, but luckily enough, he had either Gabriel or Kivior on the cover. Hold on a second.
Yeah, so while he's gone dealing with that, let me just say we've got a lot of comments. So Concrete Jungle said best defense in Europe. Yep, they are, and he's absolutely loving it. Emerson says good results all round today. Under 18 ladies and senior team had good days. Bertram says we cannot play the Havertz Trossard tandem against teams like City. Also Party on the bench. Really, yeah, I agree with that bit. But I mean, look what that tandem did to Liverpool, Bertram. So we can play them, that Havertz Trossard tandem against teams like we can play them because I mean, again, who made the goal for when we beat City? It was Havertz holding off 3 defenders, laying the ball off to Martinelli. I think we can play them, you know, so we probably disagree on that. Cam says, these are great ratings and they are thoughtfully explained. Bro, that's only just mine. You ain't heard the rest of the guys yet. Carry on, Lewis.
So what was I? Yeah, Saliba's 7 was pretty fair. Two mistakes from him, which is very unusual. But when you've got such a good, strong defensive centre backs like Saliba and Gabriel, one will always have that game where they're not quite at the races, and the other one just takes over. And that's what I'm noticing this season, where one's not quite on it, the other one is like, you know what? It's my time today. I'm gonna lead. I'm going to be the one. Don't worry about it. I got you, sort of thing. Kivior has been a really, really good revelation since he's come in. It's almost like Arteta has given him some sort of a challenge and for him to stake a claim in this team. And he is really pushing for that place. And to be playing out of position out on the left, it takes some adjusting and you know, getting used to. So I'm really pleased for the young man. You know, he's quick thinking on the throw in as well. He was defensively solid. You know, Zinchenko should be worried right now that a player who plays as a centre back is coming in to his position and making it his own. Fair 8. I mean, what's been said about Declan Rice that hasn't been said? The guy is always an 8 or 9 out of 10 every single week, and you know, you look at his price tag and you think to yourself, 105 million, that is an absolute bargain compared to, you know, Enzo and Calcido going for much bigger fees. And you've got, out of the 3 central midfielders, you've got the one that is the most complete in terms of what is needed for the team. And the fact that he just loves playing he loves playing football. You can see it. You know, he covers the ground so effortlessly. Like at times you think to yourself, how on earth are you getting there? But it's because of, like you were saying, his intelligence, the way that he reads the game. So yeah, it's fair. Where are we? Odegaard, I mean, I called it from probably the 60th minute of the game. He was my man of the match. Proper captain's performance, creating, scoring, leading by example, tidy passing, just, you know, and the press as well. Like he's absolutely a machine right about now. And the fact that he does create all these chances and we're not putting them away for him, that just shows you, you know, he wants it more than anybody else out there. Havertz, I'm going to give him an 8. His touch at times let him down in the first half. He could have easily come away with 3, maybe 4 goals if you're really, really being, you know, if you're really going to nitpick. But the fact that he did get his goal is good. He also, like Odegaard, he works extremely hard off the ball. He's always putting himself about. He'll win headers. He's a nuisance, not just in the midfield, but also when he does play further up in the centre forward position, like he did against Liverpool. We've got that option to go in a little bit longer for him to bring it down and bring others into play. Saka, if it wasn't for Odegaard playing the way that he did, Saka probably would have gone down as my man of the match. For somebody that is having a quiet season, he's sure making a lot of noise about it. He's almost becoming this player that he plays in certain moments of the game, and he's almost playing in a completely different way to what he was last year. He's now a little bit more wary about the double team, the triple team. He's more effective, is what I'm trying to get to. And for him to get the goal with his right foot, you know, most players will want to cut back in on their stronger foot and try curl it in the far corner. That's a clever piece of play. The penalty, you know, you got to give it to him. It was not the best of penalties, but you know, when you step up, all you want your player to do is hit the back of the net, and that's what he did. Martinelli, he's another player that, for me, he's very exciting on the ball, but he needs to get his head up more. So, like the goal that he created, he actually gets his head up and decides to play the ball with his weaker foot, and that's what we want more of. You've got to be a little bit more unpredictable in what you're doing rather than cutting back. Trossard, I mean, he's just, it's very hard to explain what he does. It's like he doesn't light up the game as such, but anything in and around the 18-yard box, and then he's alive. He's quick to it. He's very sharp. And, you know, when you're going in for a title, you need these types of players that can just come in, score a couple of clutch goals, and then that's it, job done. And for Mr. Arteta today, I mean, we've struggled against teams like Burnley where they sit low with the low block and just pack out the midfield, pack out the defence. But today, everything that he asked of the team was spot on and thoroughly deserves his 10 rating.
Excellent. Thanks for that. Gary, you go next. You got the conch because Tony, I know Tony's working on these stats and everything. Actually, before I go into that, Cam says our defense have some monsters. They really lose a tackle or a header. G says super performance again. Stadiums are emptying everywhere we go. 5-0 and 6-0 away wins in the league. It's great. I can't remember when the last time that happened. Feels strange to have games without any nervous moments. Well, I had one nervous moment, and that's when Gary was trying to tell me whether it's a bloody penalty or not. That was quite nervous, if you want to put that down.
They took their time. It looked like it was going to be one of them things where you could see it getting overturned. Because from one angle it looked like he takes him out, and the other angle it looked like he didn't touch him.
Yeah, and
So,
in those things, the rule book says contact. So even if it's the minimalist contact, it's a penalty, and so that's why I thought, okay, we're good here.
You know what it is? It comes from the fact that when it's Arsenal, sometimes you just think that we ain't going to get it. I don't know why that is. We just feel that there's a little agenda there that's going to just overrule something that's given to us. But
it says we're in good form to beat Porto and then give Newcastle a crushing defeat. We owe them. Cam says a word about Kivior. He's been fantastic playing more as a traditional fullback and not inverting. So hold on. So this was the point Gary had about why didn't we keep Kieran Turner? All right, let me not go there, because actually in that defense, Kieran Turner wasn't great against Liverpool or City. He was getting twisted and turned and burned as well. So so let's see what happens.
He's injured. He's injured again, and I don't know if you've noticed, but this is now the third or fourth injury this season.
Yeah, it's dead food, man. Dead food. Such a shame.
Did he do an article last week saying that when he was asked to play inverted, it was like alien to him?
Yeah,
he just didn't get it. Yeah,
he has tremendous turn of pace and can be a real asset for us. And then he goes, Odegaard works off the ball is insane, pressing like crazy, even in stoppage time. We've clicked and we're reaping the rewards. Trossard, Saka, and Odegaard are crucial. Our three biggest goal contributors. Gary.
Okie dokie. So, David Raya, I'm going to give him a solid 7.5 today. I can agree with that. Wasn't tested with any shots, although we are going to give him the one because we need him to do something. So we're going to give him the one to make say he made one save today, even though it was a cross. But we'll give it to him because we feel sorry for him that he's had nothing to do in 3 games. Distribution was decent. With the ball at his feet, used it well, never in any trouble. So good. He's starting to grow into the role of being a solid Arsenal goalkeeper and everything that it entails when you play for a club like Arsenal. So well done to him. Long may that continue. Ben White, like Lewis said, I just think sometimes Ben White is so casual and he doesn't really see things as an urgency. You know, a player will get the ball and you think, go over with it, get in his face. But Ben White, he sits off and I think it's just a casualness in the actual guy. It's in his makeup. Sometimes I don't like it and I think that it's something that he needs to improve. But like you and Apollo said, Lewis, that he's got the relationship with Saka, it was kind of broke. And now it seems to be working again. They're working as a two rather than a separate people. So, and Arsenal are reaping the benefits down the right-hand side. So I'm happy with Ben White's 7. Saliba, I think Saliba's had the last couple of games, he's been a little bit shaky. He's made a few uncharacteristic mistakes. But we've also got to remember that the guy is only 21 years old.
Yeah.
So we're piling it on him like he's a Van Dijk at 30 and has been playing. You know, second season, he was a rock last season, a total revelation. Many people were saying, why did he loan him out? Look what he's doing. But that wasn't a given that he was going to come in and do that. So, and he's lucky because he's playing in a team that has a Rice, a Gabriel, a Kirill today we saw, a Havertz. Someone that's there that can bail you out of trouble if you make the mistake. So when he's making these little errors, they're not getting punished. That's due to the players around him. So I'm happy with his 7. Gabriel, we're going to run out of things to say about this guy pretty soon because week in, week out, he is solid as a rock. He hardly puts a foot wrong. He pops up with goals. He pops up with fantastic tackles. He uses the ball well. You know, everything that you want from a centre-back, this guy has in his locker. And I agree with Apollo. I think he's been our best defender by a country mile this season. So I'm going to give Gabriel an 8. Kirior, impressed with the last 2 performances that he's put in. Didn't he come on against Liverpool as well? Did he not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So the last 2.5 performances that he's put in, Zinchenko is definitely the weak link in our defence, as was called out by Ben White at the end of one of the games recently. He switches off, gets caught out by that long crossfield ball far too many times. And the inverted role is not needed on a regular basis. We only saw it once. I only saw it once today with Cedric when he went inverted. So I think it's horses for courses. If you need it, you use it. If you don't, just have a traditional left back playing in a traditional left back way. And that's what Kyrgios done. Strong, athletic. He gets up and supports. Great quick thinking with the throw. Because normally we see Ben White take 3 years to take a throw. Got up, picked the ball up, and a few seconds later, it's in the back of the net. So Kyrgios, I'm happy with his 9. I think he's performing really well out of position. Long may that continue. Declan Rice, like Lewis alluded to, I still think that 105 million is too cheap for this guy. We have robbed West Ham. Absolutely robbed them.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The guy is just superb. Another player that we're going to run out of things to say about him, because every week he puts in a performance. It's always 8 or above with this guy. He scored goals. He's got assists. I think, was it 5 Premier League goals, 5 assists this season in his first season playing for a major club like Arsenal.
It's a breakout year. Like Xhaka was only scoring 1 or 2 goals a season, and then he gets 7 last season. Yeah.
But he breaks up play. He gets back. He covers his centre backs. He wins headers. He carries the ball out Vieira style. Goes charging through the middle of the field. Absolutely, amazing performance week in, week out from this guy. So I'm going to give him an 8.5. He was even playing without one contact lens today. What can you say? Can't even see out of one eye, and he's still doing that. Martin Odegaard. Absolutely brilliant performance from start to finish. I don't think he should have finished the game. I think he should have been taken off. Lewis called it. I don't know what time it was in the game, but Lewis said, get him off. We've got Wednesday coming up. How he played 100 minutes today is beyond me. I think it was the only blemish on Arteta today was saying that Odegaard should have been taken off long before the final whistle. Scored a fantastic goal. That touch to kill the ball from Martinelli and to have it sit up in the same moment that he killed it to strike was absolutely phenomenal. Apollo said it's a trademark finish, left foot to the keeper's left bottom corner, right inside the post. You've got to be a top keeper to save that. Creates chances, never stops working. He dropped into the 6, he played the 8, he played the 10. He was on the wing. He was. You could just go on forever talking about this guy today. So Apollo gave him a 10. I'm going to give him a 9.9 because the 10 is reserved for someone that scores a hat-trick and does everything in the game for me. But my man of the match, just stealing it from Mr. Bukayo Saka. Havertz. I'm going to give Havertz a 7. He took his goal well, but I think there was so many opportunities in that game for this guy to control the ball and get a shot away at goal. And 4 or 5 times that I saw it happen, he's miscontrolled it or he's turned the wrong way. And I just thought it didn't quite click for him today, but his defensive side of the game was still there. So actually, I'm going to give him a 7.5. I just thought he could have come away with at least a couple of goals today, but his control let him down. And even the one that I think he set up for Trossard, I don't think he meant to do it. I think it was a miscontrol that actually put Trossard through. But The guy's been solid. I think I found him one game this season where he just looked like he wasn't interested. But he's been exceptional all season. Saka, the guy, it looked like he was having a low in his season, but I think that's to be expected because this guy's played every minute of every game, you know, takes a battering in every game, plays for England every minute of every game. You know, he's never had a break. And there's been times when we've all been crying out, give this guy a break before he breaks. We know he's been playing with an Achilles injury and he still plays him 95 minutes. Give the guy a rest. And he looks like the break in Dubai, the week off in the sunshine, revitalised him. He's come back with a vengeance. He's assisting, he's scoring. You can't ask for more. Today, he beat his man on the outside, used his right foot to smash it into the roof of the net. We've seen him do it a few times, but there are those among us that say that he can't use his right foot. And I'd just like to dispel them rumours right now because we've seen it happen time after time.
How did Chelsea just miss that? How did Chelsea just miss
I
that?
was thinking the same thing, Tony.
I'm not watching it, so I don't know.
What?
He should have just hit it one time. He didn't need that touch. Just lashed the ball. But anyways,
Yeah, so I'm gonna give Saka a 9.5. I'm happy with that rating. Martinelli. I think we're in a bit of a situation with Martinelli, really, where the team are performing and everyone is stepping up their levels of play. But Martinelli is still, he's not quite reaching the same levels. We saw him today. He set up Odegaard right foot. He used his right foot, his strong foot, passed it with a little pass out to him on the edge of the area. We saw him go down the line and deliver a nice cross to the back post, which Eddie should have scored from, with his left foot. So that tells you that he can use his left foot. The thing with Martinelli, in my opinion, it's a mind thing. He's thinking too much about what he's going to do with it. And by the time he's made up his mind, he hasn't got the opportunity for that cross anymore because he's thinking, should I lose my left foot? Should I cut back in on the right? And it's something that he's got to sort out because if you get the assist side of his game flowing, we know he can score and he could be a major, major player for years to come and a very, very talent on the world stage. But it's something that he's got to sort out. So I'm happy with his 7. Trossard, he's come in, he plays the false 9. He drops into the 10, he drops into the 8. We saw him play a ball over the top for Saka last week to win the penalty. You know, he scored a nice, lovely goal today with his left foot. The other day it was with his right foot. He brings everything. The guy's got everything. He plays with both feet. He can finish. He can assist. He works hard for the team. Really good performance today from Trossard, and I think he has to keep his place even when Jesus gets to. I wouldn't personally change this team unless one of them picked up an injury or their form dip. I would keep the same team going now for the push to the end of the season. You just have to get the substitutions right to allow adequate rest. So Trossard for me gets a 9 today, and Arteta, I'm going to give him a 10. I'm going to stick with a 10. I thought he should have rested Odegaard towards the end of the game with us easily winning. There was no need to keep him on. Team selection, I thought he was right to keep the same team. Smith Rowe could have been on a bit sooner. But on the whole, he gets everything right. And like someone said, you know, even winning 3-4-0, he's still screaming the instructions. He still wants players to do this, do that. And that's the sign of a very good coach because you're never satisfied. If you're winning 10-0, you're never satisfied. If you see someone doing something wrong, you have to tell them that they're doing it wrong, and you have to demand better. As a coach, I demand that my team play to the levels that I know they can, and that's what every coach should do. So yeah, I'll take it gets a 10, and long may this streak continue.
So couple of things here. G says. That's not G, sorry. That's that's Cam. Cam says, "Can you tell me anything about Timber?" I do know something about Timber, but I can't disclose it unfortunately, on social media. But I can say this to you: he is healthy, but unfortunately, healthy doesn't put you back on the field. You've got to be match fit, and so that's the focus right now. But I can't.
Can I say what I saw on the so from what I understand, and this was published by Arsenal, he had the last tests that now allow him to play freely.
That's what okay. So if that's official, that's what I told you guys earlier on in the week, which I was told not to say anything about, and I told you guys not to say anything about it. But
I've seen that on an official.
If that's official, then they've just confirmed what I already told you guys beforehand. Remember, guys, I only tell the panelists because I trust them. They won't go out and start to air it out, because then that creates a whole load of troubles to my sources. So I don't really sort of a diversion to anything. But yeah, I mean, if they've released the data, which is what they've said to me, he's fit, guys. He's fit. And it's just a matter of bringing him back in. And what that means to you guys is expect to see him maybe in an under-21s game or something to that effect. And then
I think they've handled this situation perfectly well.
They have. I mean,
there's been no need to rush him back.
Yeah, I mean, they had a meeting on Friday. They've got another one at 10 o'clock on Monday about this, and really 3 of them have to come to an agreement. Once they get that agreement in stone, then we'll start to see him playing a part. But yeah, I mean, it's all done. He's been given a green light, so that's as far as we know from him. Jesus is fit. If anybody wanted to ask. Could have been on the bench today, but the manager decided not to. But he's fit. He'll be in the squad midweek for sure. Zinchenko's the only one that is far away from what I've heard. I haven't heard good things about him. It's pretty bad as far as Zinchenko goes, so I don't know about it. They're looking at March to see how that works. Thomas Partey, they reckon Partey is on the right course from the setback he had a week ago, but they're just trying to be slow with him. I think they know that they don't need him at the moment, so they're just trying to tell him to get some R&R. So from what I know, Thomas Partey is just resting, and that's pretty much it.
So can I just add to that? I mean, I've got nothing to add in terms of where he's at, but as far as I'm concerned, I can't see that. I need that guy getting minutes as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying about don't rush him back. But if I was Arsenal, rush him back. Get him as soon as possible fit. Now, that doesn't mean you have to play him all the time, but just means get him ready. So he's on that bench within a couple of weeks, ready to play, and he starts getting minutes here and there. And as you said about Timber, maybe another 21 game.
Yeah, because
in a hurry.
Because the trick is the Chelsea game is in a month and the City game is in 6 weeks. So those really are, I think, that the targets that you're chasing, because the squad that we've got now can pretty much handle it. I mean, Fabio Vieira came back to training yesterday. So Fabio Vieira came back to first team training yesterday.
No one's missing Fabio Vieira.
I think they are, because I think he really gave us. He came in. He was very influential at the number 8 position when he played. So I think that there's a lot. We're going to be surprised when this team gets back up to full speed. Tony.
So again, can I say something about Fabio Vieira? Because interestingly, he was the subject of a little bit of a heated debate on a Guna group that I'm one with Emerson, and the feeling was, why is Vieira getting all these minutes and Emil Smith-Rowe can't get minutes and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And me, I'm like, why are we dissing our own player?
Yeah.
This guy's numbers are actually very good.
Yeah, they are. They are insane.
And people who don't recognize what he's delivered for the team in the time that he has been, you might say, oh, well, he's not best positioned to replace Saka as a right winger. Well, guess what? The manager has shown his faith to actually let him play there.
Yeah.
Not only that, he's played him at the 10.
Yeah.
So he's doing stuff some way that's impressing Arteta. And the numbers aren't bad.
Yeah.
I
His
get that,
assist
maybe.
numbers are actually very high
Very good.
compared
Yeah.
to many other players in the team per
Mm.
90 minutes played.
No, I get that, Tony, but him as a right winger, I don't want to see that again.
No,
I
they've
But
get
moved him
what you're
inside
saying.
this season. They've moved him
him coming,
inside.
him coming into like the central areas where
Yeah.
he's more familiar. I'm more than happy with that.
He's
He just needs to find Eddie's PT's number and bulk up.
His
Just
last
like
three games, Lewis, he played the number 8 twice and the number 10 once in his last 3 games.
and that's his position, not
Yeah.
the number 7. I don't, because he's not the type of player that's gonna dribble past anybody. Like you put Emil Smith Rowe out wide, he will take somebody on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the big difference. And I think as well, for me with Emil Smith Rowe, he was
Score. We
one of
must score. Oh my
terrible.
God. What
Emil
is
Smith
this guy
Rowe was one
doing?
of the players that put helped Arteta onto the map. He helped elevate the club into this position. So I get that Emil Smith Rowe's had his injury setbacks, but he's slowly now being considered off the bench. He just needs more minutes like the rest do. And it's a headache that Arteta needs right now because we are going into the business end of the season. He needs to know who he can trust in certain situations.
Yep, 100%. G says for a team that can't score without a striker, 21 goals in the last 5 ain't too bad. Shout out to Alex. Alex says Odegaard taking the shot, Saka brace and scoring, Arteta making subs at the appropriate time was the highlights for me. Cam says Arsenal are cooking this season. Pundits criticize Havertz, then they criticize Raya, then they criticize Arteta for celebrations, then they criticize a lack of striker. That because they really don't have anything to run on. And that's the that's Alex saying, can they keep it going to the end? As long as they stay fit, yeah, that's pretty much I think where we all are. Tony, you got the conch.
Sorry, Apollo, sorry to interrupt.
No, don't say sorry, it's your time, mate. It's your time.
No, because what I want to add to that is as long as we stay fit, well, hang on a second, we aren't fit. Because think of all the players that we should have that we haven't got. If imagine this team that is scoring freely with Jurian Timber in it, with Thomas Partey in it. Yeah.
Tomiyasu, Vieira, Partey, Zinchenko.
There's loads of players who could be helping this team who aren't helping this team because they're injured.
Remember, Jesus missed 9 games at the beginning of the season. It was Eddie started those 9 games and scored 5 goals.
We're this close to getting them back. So I can only imagine that when all those players are fit, this machine that is doing so well right now is going to be phenomenal. Ben White. I like what Ben White's doing. I still think he can do a lot better. But because he's in a 5-0 win, he keeps a clean sheet again. He's causing havoc. He's causing havoc. I'm going to give him an 8. I'll give Saliba and Gabriel both a solid 8. I give Kivior an 8.5. I thought he was our best defender because when he was attacking, he looked dangerous. And he obviously gets an assist today. So I give him 8.5. Declan Rice, without being anything special today, he just went about his work in a workmanlike fashion and did what he does. So I'm going to stick with an 8 for Declan Rice. Odegaard, I kind of have to go with Lewis, that I can't give him the 10, but I'm going to give him the 9.5 today. Havertz, I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was a good asset, part of the team, but too many touches went astray. And in all honesty, a player of his ilk in this situation where you're playing with a team with such poise, I think he needs to improve certain elements of his game whereby he can get more goals, get more assists. I think he can get more assists and be more of an asset at the top end of the pitch, which doesn't mean he's not being an asset, but I just think he's got more to come. Saka, I'm going to give him a 9. Martinelli, I'm going to give him an 8. Trossard, I'm happy with your 8.5. Arteta gets a 10 from me. And that's my ratings.
Excellent, excellent, guys. Guys, if you want to stay on and do the rest of the West Ham game, the Man City game, you can if you want. I have to nip off though, so it's up to you. Like, if you want to stay online and do the rest of the game.
I'm easy.
I'm not watching that, man. I'm going to sit on my sofa and watch Married at First Sight Australia. See all the drama unfold.
Excellent.
My
All right, guys.
All
right, guys. So that's it from us, guys. Arsenal moved 2 points clear, or 2 points behind Liverpool after a perfect performance on the road. Another one. And it's just been phenomenal where we are right now. Look forward to this week. Arsenal resume their Champions League campaign on Wednesday. We travel to Porto in the last 16. Kickoff is 8 o'clock. And we're going to be here. We're going to give you live match commentary with that as well. And then we've got Newcastle next Saturday at 8 p.m. That's a late one. So, guys, have a great weekend. Love when it's weekends like this. Subscribe to the channel. And again, thank you very much, guys. We're over 9,000 subscribers now. So I appreciate that. We're on our journey. I started this thing to get to 10,000 and we're nearly there. And we just need a little bit more push. Thanks to you guys. If that means I have to do more videos in a week, I will do them. Anything to get this channel up to 5 figures. That is my dream. So I really appreciate the work that everyone's done to make that happen. You're all been a part of that. So have a great weekend.
Like and subscribe, guys. Hit the like and subscribe.
So I'll speak to you guys later, man. Guys, have a great weekend.
See you later, guys.
We made it this far, so I can't complain. Let's take, let's take a trip.